Well, good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, July 22nd, 2014, and this is Prepper Chicks After Dark on UCY.tv. And nice to be back. I've missed all you guys. It is probably a nice balmy 90 degrees here in Indianapolis tonight. Expecting temperatures to drop tomorrow, some storms rolling in, and then our polar vortex is back by midweek next week. But other than that, same old bullshit going around the news. Some white flags over the Brooklyn Bridge. We've got the bubonic plague going on. All kinds of reasons that we should be prepared out there. So, one thing that we're going to do tonight is we're going to play some Conflicted, the survival card game, and we're going to talk some scenarios and what we would do and how our morals and our ethics would play into some of the decisions that we make. So, what is Conflicted? It is the survival card game, a deck of 52 cards, scenarios on each card that you can play with your preparedness group to open up dialogue, conversations, to get into their head and find out what they would do in certain situations. So we're going to see who we have with us tonight, because I know Skype has been ornery here the last few weeks. But Geek, did you make it on?
Geek is in the house.
Woohoo! Awesome.
So glad to be back this week. It was terrible. I think I had After Dark withdrawal last week. So.
Yeah, my bad. I was in Kentucky.
I gotcha. But, yep, I'm glad to be here. You can always come check us out at geekprepper.org. I'll post it in the chat room also, so you guys can come find us. Always looking to do something different, something new, and trying to give you the edge when shit hits the fan, so come hang out.
Awesome. Alika, did you make it on?
I did.
Woohoo! Nice to have you boys back.
Alika!
What's going on?
Oh, we have a new mating call. I can hear it just now. Geek, do that again.
Alika!
I just had flashbacks of my mother yelling at me.
Clean your room.
I finally conquered Skype, so I'm glad to be here. I'm with SHTFready.com. We are prepping forum that we teach people how to prep and survive, keep the tinfoil hat theories out, and focus on the survival. You heard of the ant and the grasshopper story? Our forum teaches you to be the ant.
I'm still laughing over here. Where am I? JD, did you make it on? I know he's been working hard. He better be working hard. Anyways, I wasn't sure if he was going to make it or not, because he has a lot of balls in the air right now, including my deck for my book coming out next week. We got just, you guys can hear up next week, Tuesday night. We're going to see if we can drop this thing live and give away a bunch of stuff next week. So if you're with us, great. You have the opportunity to win all kinds of wild and crazy kind of things. So it should be a fun night. So, but what's going on this week is I have spent the last week and a half, 2 weeks, with the McLean family, and the McLean family is going through an apocalypse of their own. It is I think it's going to be 3, and I'll let her explain that in a minute. But 2 books are out right now called The McLean Apocalypse, and written by Kate Morris, who joins us tonight on Prepper Chicks After Dark. Kate, welcome to the show.
Hey there, how's it going?
I'm glad to hear your voice. We had a little hiccup this morning.
Yeah, technology and I are not friends.
It doesn't help that you're out in the middle of nowhere, too.
No.
But, hey, glad to have you tonight. So, awesome book series you have going on here. How many books? You have 2 out right now. Planning on a third?
Yeah, the third one is due out in the fall. It's already done. It's just going through all the editing. And then I plan to keep writing. I'm getting quite a few fan emails that are kind of threatening and also saying that they love it, but please don't end the series. So I will probably continue it as long as I can keep going with it.
Threatening? They're upset. They don't like.
Oh yes, they're like, don't kill any of the characters. You have to keep the story going. Good threats.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I know that you're pretty active when it comes to the military and the Second Amendment and things like that. So I wasn't sure if you'd gotten some flack over that.
Well, I'm pretty outspoken about the Second Amendment, so yeah, I get flack pretty much on a daily basis over on Twitter, but I'm a big girl. I've been dealing with it since I was a kid, so I can handle it. I can argue with the best of them.
Well, you're in good company here. I don't think there's anybody on here that doesn't like guns, so...
Yeah, I'm not the biggest person, so I can't beat a guy up with harsh language. So my 45 is my best friend.
There you go. So 2-book series. Where can people get your books at? Track you down and begin going through reading your books.
They can find it on Amazon or BarnesandNoble.com right now. We're hoping to schedule for next winter to get it in bookstores, but it's just taking a while.
Gotcha. I'm going to drop your website here into the chat room, which is KateMorrisAuthor.com. They can find...
Yep, that would be me.
Looks like they can find all of your stuff there, too. How long have you been writing?
I've been writing since junior high, but this just was different from the start, and I knew I couldn't not publish it, so that's how it happened.
What brought you into this genre of writing, specifically the apocalypse in a down-grid situation?
It actually came to me in a dream, and it was a nightmare, and I've had apocalyptic-type nightmares before, but this just felt different from the start. And it just kept coming back and coming back. I've never had dreams that came back on me like that, but it kept coming and kept coming. And I finally just said, I'm just going to write some of this down just so it'll leave me alone. But then 3 months later, I'd written 1,200 pages, and I was like, well, now what am I going to do with that?
Gotcha. So I have a question. With everything going on in the world right now, and we try and stay away from the whole doomsday kind of stuff that they put out there, but in your opinion, what do you think, what worries you the most coming up?
What worries me?
Yeah.
Wow. I think always, in the back of my mind, I've always been worried about nuclear war. Maybe because my generation, in the 80s we were all worried about Russians, but now we have
Times for sure. All right, so who's ready to play some Conflicted?
I am.
Just say, are we having issues with the audio? Chat room, can anybody
here.
hear us?
I'm here.
Kate, are you still with us?
Yep, I lost you for a minute, but it's back.
Okay. All right, so first question. We have three... they haven't openly posed as a threat to you. Would you murder them now, or would you let them go and take the risk of being killed by them later? So, Alika, what do you think?
It's just going around.
Alika, are you with us? How about Geek? You on?
I'm still here, but I think I only heard about half the question. I think we had another audio hiccup. Could you repeat it? I'm sorry.
Gotta love Skype, huh?
I heard murder, and I'm like, well, I'm cool with murder, but...
All right, three guys show up at your house. They're asking for food and water, but you don't have enough to give them. So you turn them away. But you know the hair on the back of your neck standing up. You know they're going to come back, and you're going to be at a severe disadvantage if they do come back and attack you. So do you take the chance of taking them out now? Or even though they're anything wrong, or wait.
It's better to face them man-to-man, face-to-face, than have them come back and give me my sleep. So I'd deal with the problem right now.
And any ideas how you would go about that? Would you do it quietly? You take them out one by one.
You're coming in a little bit clearer now.
What is going on tonight?
The internets are broken.
The internets are broken. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I would try to follow them back to their base, kill them one-on-one, I guess. Nothing honorable or anything, like, you face me. But, there might be more of them. There might be a whole camp of brigands. So I would take them out.
Gotcha. Alika is trying to dial back in.
I'm here.
Alrighty. So what would you do? Did you hear the question?
That's a good question, because I did not hear the question.
All right. 3 guys show up at your house. They are going to... They're asking for food and water. They haven't done anything. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Still gotcha.
I can hear you now.
Man, we're just having all kinds of problems tonight. All right. Alika, can you hear? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm checking the chat room. It's loading right now. But, so, any idea what the question is?
3 guys.
3
come
guys.
to the door.
Yeah. So, they haven't done anything, but they're going to come back. And they're going to bring harm to you or your family. So, do you take the chance of taking them out while they're at your house, or do you let them go and then risk them coming back? And how would you go about any of that?
If they specifically said we're going to come back and burn your house down or kill all of you while you're sleeping, then that's open threat right there. And I would take them out right then and there. But if they just walk off and maybe swear under their breath that I think they're lying or whatever. There's really no grounds to shoot them in the head, basically. So, I mean, it would all depend on how they reacted after I told them that.
So, if it's the world that we know it today, and that's your decision, would that change after a massive downgrade?
Hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did hear the question. I think.
What would you do? Probably multiple times at this point, right?
Well, I got lots of breaks in it, so I think I figured out the question. Well, if you read my books, you know that I can deal with a little bit of violence, so definitely I wouldn't let anybody stay with me. People can be a burden on your supplies, and that just wouldn't work. I wouldn't, in general, trust most people anyways.
So you would, would you go ahead and take them out then at the time and risk them not coming back?
Yeah, most people, if they came down my drive, I would just snipe them before they even got to the house, because I just don't trust most people anyways. And if you're in an apocalyptic type situation, most people are coming looking for a handout or to take over your property.
Yeah, I would question that. Take into account, we had a scenario with the prison bus, and what these guys were all dressed in orange. Would that change how you felt about things? Obviously not, because you'd still snipe them anyways. But what if curveball? What if it was 3 women?
It depended. It would have to, if they had, with them, but no.
Yep.
I'm back.
All right. So let's move to the next question before I have a meltdown. Alika, you have a question?
Yes. This is off the third deck. Gordon's children witnessed an attack on close family friends, which made their car burst into flames. The screams of the passengers forever scarring the children's innocence. What would you tell your children if they had to go through a traumatic experience like this?
I think we're seeing a lot of kids out there in the world right now going through a lot of stuff that they don't necessarily need to see. But Geek, you have kids. How would you handle explaining to your children when they see something like that?
I would try to console them, and I would be, everybody has a time to go. Some time comes. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. That's your time. And I would encourage them to believe something. That hey, they're in a better place now. They're with God and Jesus, and and all their beloved loved ones. So granted, they did suffer. They're not suffering now. They're okay. I would definitely work that angle with them.
Gotcha. Kate, what do you think? Easing kids into a harsh reality after a downgrade?
Well, I think in general people tend to underestimate the resiliency of kids, and sometimes they handle things on a different level than we do, and they have the ability to compartmentalize things that is beyond what you would think that they could handle, and I think that they would adapt, and I think that they would probably recover better than a lot of adults, especially adults that are coddled.
Gotcha. Alika, did you make it back in?
I'm here.
Alrighty, awesome. What do you think? Any suggestions that you would from easing kids into reality at that point?
Besides saying shit happens, sport, yeah, really, you just got to sit down and explain to them, like, this is the new era, and it's either us or them mentality. Which is really, and like Paige said, have them pray to our God. There's really nothing else you can do. You can't sugarcoat that kind of stuff.
No, you can't. I'll throw this out to everyone. What do you guys think? Is there stuff that you can do now to try and ease that burden as we approach some kind of... we've got it, like I said earlier, coming from every end out there. So is there something that we could be doing now with our children to try and soften the blow if something would happen? And I'll open it up to everyone. So, Kate, what do you think?
Well, definitely, I'm a pro-gun advocate, and I've written articles for the NRA and whatnot, but definitely you have to train your kids young, and prepping wasn't a big thing when I was a kid, but I've been shooting since I was 4 or 5, and I remember going to gun shows with my dad, and I was his trap shooting partner when I was in high school, so I think the most important thing you can teach your kids is how to grow a garden and how to shoot a gun.
Do you think that's a lot of the issues right now that we're seeing with guns is the fact that we've desensitized them to the point where everyone's afraid of them? Because you and I both grew up kind of the same way. I was hunting with my dad. We always had guns in the house. The kids would drive to school during deer season with a shotgun strapped across their back window on the school grounds. Do you think that plays into some of this?
Well, I think society in America has become very soft, and I think that there's a lot of groups out there that are basically big mouths, like MDA, and they like to make guns out to be the bad guy in every situation, and really it's not the gun, it's the person pulling the trigger that probably should have never had a gun in the first place. But yeah, and where I live pretty rural, and it's Appalachia, Ohio. Kids still take off that first week in deer season in November. So it's a little different where I live, but I know that a lot of the city kids are definitely missing out on something they should be doing.
Do you think kids that live in the city are going to have an easier or harder time after a downgrade situation when it comes to the mentality part of survival? Geek, what do you think?
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's open to anybody, so go ahead.
I think they're going to have it harder. I mean, the rural kids sometimes make do without all the, maybe not all of them, but, make do without the Xboxes and the Game Boys and the cell phones. A lot of them do chores. A lot of them are exposed to hunting and fishing and know where food comes from and maybe have to help in the garden. These city kids, I mean, they get bored, they start thinking too much, and all of a sudden they're on, SSI and anxiety managing medications, and that's a dangerous breed with a developing mind. I mean, their psyche isn't developed for that, so they end up getting doped up when all they need to do is get their ass out there and do some chores.
Yeah, but they'd have an easier time, in my opinion, to shoot someone.
Yes, but they may, but due to their lack of training, they may shoot the wrong person. I mean, mom and dad might actually get whacked because they, well, I played Grand Theft Auto for 25 hours a week. I know how to do this. Maybe you do.
True. Kate, what do you think?
I think anybody that lives in a city that doesn't have like a bug out situation that they can get to are going to fall victim to lawlessness. And I think that it wouldn't take long for it to spread either. There's going to be people out there that are looking to seek revenge because they got wronged in some situation in the past. So things would fall apart quickly. And I think anybody that lived in, especially a big city, it won't take long for them to turn on each other. And I've heard a lot of people in chat rooms saying, oh, my community would pull together. It's not going to work like that. People won't pull together. It's going to be you versus them.
Well, even if your community did pull together, you're going to have so many other people that are going to be against you. It's going to be easily overrun anyways. Communities aren't that large anymore, unfortunately, and it's going to be hard to get enough people together. Down Are we back again? Hello?
Yeah. I'm here.
There we go. Yep.
Jeez. All right. So, Geek, do you have a question?
I do. I hope you can hear it. Let me grab my card. You are bugging out by foot and see a crashed prison bus. The inmates are stuck and trying to get out. The bus is on fire and they're begging for help. Do you use your axe to break the windshield glass and let them out, or do you let the inmates die?
I have a feeling we're going to be 4 for 4 on this one. Kate, what do you think? Are you going to help the inmates out? They're all dressed in orange. You don't know where they came from or who they are? Can anybody hear me?
I would probably break the glass for them.
I hear you.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
I would probably break the glass if I had the capability to do, but I wouldn't stick around and help anybody because I wouldn't want.
And then you take off. Man, there's two sides to it. You know, what if they get out and they go harm the next family down the road that comes along? Would you take the chance of that? Or what if the guys in orange are just guys that didn't pay their child support? Hello?
I'm still here. I know that we've had other guests who are just for shooting all the people that didn't pay their child support. So
what do you think, Geek?
I'm not for letting somebody die like that. I'm really on the fence. I guess I would encourage. I'd break the window, and I would hopefully have someone covering me. A bus can hold a lot of people, so I'd break the glass and then give them a pep talk about how they were given a second chance, and they need to keep that in mind because you know, next time they may be so lucky, you know, maybe their karma on this time. I mean, you can't
This is getting old. My apologies, but we're having major problems. I've noticed that we have a little bit of action in the chat room tonight, too, and I don't know if they're associated with each other.
Good point.
If something's going on, but obviously we've got some misconduct going on in there, and I don't know if one is helping the other one out or not. But let's keep moving forward. So, Geek, you brought up the fact that you would break the glass and hesitate on shooting the prisoners in the bus in their orange jumpsuits.
Yes. Did you hear my whole answer?
No.
I said something along the lines of we can't control what they're going to do about that, us letting them die. That's the
Testing 2, 3.
Yeah, I'm here.
Lika, Geek, Kate, just Alika.
Yep.
Let's see if anybody can hear us. You want to answer the prison question real fast while we're still on the air?
I'm with Geek. You can't just let these guys die. You have no clue on what they might have done, but just to cover my ass, I would have the missus or even one of them my group covering my 6 quarter mile down the road with a rifle, or even just to make sure they don't overtake me or whatever, and make sure I get out of there safely, but still help these guys, and hopefully they appreciate the second chance at life.
What do you think the chances of that are? If these guys are, a huge difference between, and unfortunately now you don't know what's going on, but what if there's a difference between, these guys just failed to pay their child support versus they're hardened MS-13 criminals? Would you look for tattoos and things like that?
I mean,
we got everybody now?
so far so good.
Okay.
Hello.
Kate?
Yep, I'm here.
Alrighty. So we're still talking about the prisoners. Kate, did you get to answer on the prisoners?
Yes, I did.
So with the influx of what we've seen coming across the southern border, with, these juveniles, these kids that are coming up from South America through Mexico and across the border that the mainstream media is talking about. And I think we've seen a lot of them are hard gang. I'm afraid to even ask if anybody's still there besides me. Anybody? Can anybody hear me? Anybody at all? Let's check the chat room. And I'm here by myself. Testing 1, 2, 3. Can anybody hear me? Anybody at all? Checking in the chat room. I'm just gonna sing. Yeah, I think Adam in the chat room says this is not one for the archives. I would agree with that. Never have we had this issue before. Not nearly. You are there. So you guys can hear me, just not anybody else. So we've lost 3 humans somewhere out there in the world. Hey, Salty. Geek, I'm not sure where you're at, dude. Lost in the Matrix. If you can hop in. Chat room can hear me, it sounds like, but nobody else. Lost Alika, lost Kate. This is sad. This is very sad. No, I'm not going to sing. You guys will never come back. Huge apologies, guys. No idea what's going on with this. Again, I'm not sure. I don't know if the troll in the chat room earlier that was given a little hissy fit there has anything to do with any of this. Hate to give them credence. But we also know that we sometimes have guests from the White House that like to hang around and see what's going on. Not sure what Kate's been up to, but if you get a chance, check out her books. She has 2 that are out now. The McLean Apocalypse, books 1 and 2. Looks like she's going to make it a good series. Enjoyable books. Like I said this morning, she has some characters that aren't, let's just say they have challenges that they have to deal with. One of the challenges that she talks about is blindness. So if you get a chance, support her. She's doing some great things and getting the word out that people need to be prepared. So KateMorrisAuthor.com is her website. So I'll go ahead and post that again in the chat room. We'll see if we can get her back on a day when we're not having so many problems. We missed her this morning too because she does live remotely out in the boonies and couldn't get her connected with Skype, but it looks like Skype is having all kinds of problems. But get a chance, check her out, KateMorrisAuthor.com. We got 12 minutes of my rambling. Geek Prepper, go check him out. If you can drop your website in the chat room. Same way with Alika, shtfready.com. A couple great guys, lots of great information out there. Next Tuesday, if you can be with us, I'm going to try and drop my book, and hopefully everything works right, and we can give away some cool prizes throughout the night. It's going to be a night of giveaways, and not just the book. There will be other things too, so spread the word if you can. Trying to get the word out as much as possible. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of time left to wake people up to the fact that they need to have at least, some food and water and some ammunition put away. That's for sure. But big thanks to you guys in the chat room for sticking through all of this mess tonight. You guys are tried and true. UCY.TV with Jules does a fantastic job. But Top Knot, Lady Pitbull, let me go through the chat room here since I have a little bit of time to kill besides prisoner. And see who's going here real fast, if I can get the internet to work right. There we go. Maybe not. Maybe it's good seeing you. I know you've been over on the personal page playing some Conflicted over there on a daily basis, so I appreciate that. Man, this totally blows. Looking forward. Here we go. Boiler Room Radio. Mr. Jimmy Funky has been in there for a while now. Desert Hawk. Geek Prepper. Hecty. Hunt. I Am Lone Frog. Jax. Joe Friday. Jules, of course. Kate Morris. Kodachrome. Lady Pitbull. Oh, that's me. Salty Old Dog. Alika's in there. Sylvanor. Top Knot. Adam Link. We'll skip that one. And Natural Mom. Greatly appreciate you guys being here. So sorry for all the issues. I'm going to try and dial out one more time. Alika and Geek and Kate, if you guys can hear. I'm going to try and do this one more time if we can pick you up. Hang on to your seats. Keep your hands inside the windows. Anybody?
I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, it looks like it.
What are your guys' thoughts on ammo reloading?
I need to get into it.
Yeah, same here. I wish I would have gone into it when nobody even talked about it before. Oh, are we connected?
Are we back in? Are we just rambling? Hi.
I don't know. Hello? Nothing. Are you really getting into it, Paige?
It's Kate. Yeah,
Oh.
I've always done it. The supplies are getting really expensive. But yeah, I think it's a good idea to stockpile because, in that kind of a situation, you're going to run out of bullets pretty quick. You're going to need something. Especially since our answer is to shoot everybody, we're going to run out of bullets fast.
Black powder, man.
Yeah, unless you're going to get a bow and arrow or a rock sling, you're going to have to know how to reload.
I bought a bow and arrow just to make sure.
There you go. So you're thinking you got a backup plan.
Yep. Got a slingshot, got black powder rifle and pistols. I mean, at least I got something.
Yeah. It's really not that hard to do. I used to reload a lot for my dad when I was in school, and he was my trap shooting partner. So reloading shotgun shells is pretty easy, and there's a lot of books on it and whatnot out there. It's not that hard. It's expensive to get into because you got to buy the equipment, but once you get into it and you keep your supplies going, then it's not so hard.
I'm just going to have a spear and a loincloth and just run around my neighborhood like a madman.
Well, that's kind of hot. You might get some takers there.
Well, I guess you haven't seen me.
You could wear the hat. And your loincloth.
I will sunburn if I don't wear the hat. I'm a very pink person.
There you go. You're going to need to stock up on sunscreen.
Oh, I am. Sunscreen and bug repellent, man. I hate mosquitoes. Hate them.
I'm stocking up on ammo and coffee because I can be pretty grouchy in the morning, and then the whole shooting people thing is going to go crazy.
So much easier with coffee.
Yes, I can deal with people a lot better after about 15 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Wow, this is... We could totally host our own show. Look at us rocking this. What do you think, chat room? We could do Wednesday night, Nerd After Dark or something.
That's right. Next, we're going to talk about comic books, and then they're all going to log off.
That's right. That's right. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Tents or hammocks for outdoors?
Are you if we have to bug out?
Yeah. I mean, you're going to do a tent, you're going to do debris shelters, maybe like one of those cool camping hammocks.
Just don't do the banana hammock.
Oh, that's happening.
Well, the hammock kind of says, I'm not really worried, I'm carefree, It could be on a beach somewhere. The tent just seems so serious.
It does. The apocalypse is supposed to be fun, right? So it's whimsical.
Right.
Put a little wind chimes on the trees.
That's right. Sipping drinks out of a coconut shell. Yeah, exactly. Show the bad guys that you are not afraid.
That's right. Rock and casual.
So, bugging out. I assume we're bugging out. Alika, you're in California, right?
No, I'm in the People's
Where you at?
Republic of New York.
Oh, so you're definitely bugging out.
Well, I got a lot of state land I could disappear into if I had to. I'd have to wait for this. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm in the same boat. I'm in Maryland, right outside of D.C., but I live right on the edge of some pretty big state like parks and stuff. So I could disappear, but I hate to lose my house, but my neighborhood would degrade fast.
Oh yeah, if the society collapsed, the D.C. would open up like a one of those fire ant hills where you bust it up and they just come out spreading into
and I'm in the
neighborhood suburbs.
Yep. So, all right. Yep. DC's divided into quadrants, and southeast is kind of rough, and that is exactly the refugee line of drift I will get. They will come I'm south of DC, so it'll just be this god awful entitlement street gang attacking my whole neighborhood.
You'll be okay. Everybody's going to be going after all the senators and congressmen and all them. You're going to be good for about 48 hours until they're all dead.
Yeah, I'll be, you know what, I live beside the Potomac. I will just drift downstream away from the city, man.
There you go.
Like a baby Moses in a basket.
That's right, a baby Moses.
In
a
your
Zodiac
loincloth.
raft. That's right. My daughters can hold the AR-15s while I row.
There you go. I like the
Or
child
maybe the
labor
AK.
aspect of that.
That's right. Make me a sandwich. I'm rowing, children. I'm sure my wife will take the helm and I'll be rowing. That's how it's going to work.
Pretty much, yeah. We kind of rule the world.
Yeah, oh, that's true. I thought I was in charge until I got married.
Yeah, I know. You were just confused. You just didn't meet her yet.
Yeah, and the thing was, I mean, I didn't even know we were getting married. Just one day she's like, yeah. Oh, well, thanks everyone.